Hey guys, Will Mitchell here. I'm currently down in Punta Gorda in the southern end of Belize. As I had mentioned, we do have a new broker owner down here opening a new Remax office, so we're very excited about that. But I wanted to quickly take a pause from setting him up, helping him get some infrastructure set up down here, and being in touch with you guys just to quickly speak on building in Belize, specifically in Ambergris Caye, and what the quoting process looks like. So obviously this changes from builder to builder, and there's a million ways you can get a quote, but I want to give you a specific example of the regional Remax office I'm currently in the process of building. It's a fairly relevant new example. I'm not going to break down specific prices. Obviously prices are subject to change down here and anywhere in the world where you're building, depending on cost of lumber, cost of import duties, logistics. All of those things can affect build costs. So I'm not going to break down the specifics. What I am going to break down for you is how the payment schedule is broken down, what the timelines look like for that, and just some of the stuff specific to our Remax headquarters build down here. So basically you can see on the first page of the quote, it kind of breaks down what the specs of the project are. I recommend if you are looking to build, a lot of people just kind of send us a photo of something and like, hey, could I build this? It's like, of course you can, but you should have an architect make appropriate plans for the builder. Otherwise, they're going to have a very hard time quoting it. And when they actually go to build your project, it's probably not going to be exactly what you envisioned. So once the builder has the proper necessary architectural plans, they can then come back and make a quote. So they lay it down, this builder does, with costs, which is the necessary things, and the optional things in the right-hand column. Breaks down the scope of the project. The office's total square footage is about just under 3,000 square feet. And then it's going to go into some of the specifics, basically, of what you're going to be getting with the build. On the second page here, and normally, like I said, you would see all these numbers, but they are blotted out. We don't want to give exact numbers or figures right now, but they're basically going to go in and they're going to talk about, the water being connected to the town water. If you're building in an area that's off grid, your expenses and costs are going to be substantially more because you're going to have to set those utilities up. Generally, I recommend getting an engineer, someone who can see exactly what your usage rates will be and calculate, how many ACs do you want? Do you want a TV? Do you want X, Y, Z? And they'll calculate basically what you'll need in terms of off-grid utilities. They'll go into your bathroom and kitchen finishes, what the ceiling is going to be, the finishings there, and basically break down a price for you in the end here. So most builders in Belize and just in general don't quote with the appliances and the AC units and the hookups. In this particular instance, this builder did quote with those things. He listed them as optional. So he gave us options on the appliances, on the AC, water purification system, which we've opted to just work with them on all of this stuff. It made it easier for us, but most builders won't do that. The construction management team that we work closely with, they break all of this stuff down. So if someone is looking to build, I do recommend getting in touch with them, and they can actually go out to the builders that have a good track record and get quotes for you and make sure they're not cutting corners. But yeah, they'll basically lay it all out. What's the optional stuff here? What's the necessary stuff? And give you a really good idea of what the cost is going to be. So moving into the third page here, which is the draw schedule. Now, I didn't list out the prices again. I just basically took a percentage of what it's going to be based off the total cost. So the first draw is 22% of our total cost. In general, that is usually higher. It's usually about 30 to 40%, seeing as the builder does have to buy materials. These draw schedules in terms of the times can be adjusted according to what you want. We have a client right now who's basically wanting more time to make the payments as he goes through the build process. He requested with the build team and construction management team to do so, and they obliged. So it is something where you do have flexibility, and I wouldn't take this as what you see is what it's going to be every time. Really, it changes every single time depending on what's going on. So the first draw, buying some materials, getting your permitting, and getting temporary utilities set up on the site for the crews to work. With the office that we're building for headquarters, it was initially going to be over water, over the canal. We decided to pivot to that and had to do some further site prep in terms of actually infilling a portion of the canal. Just basically the architectural team kind of changed the plan. They didn't like the idea. So we had to do a little bit of extra work there and a little bit of extra time to make that adjustment there. The second draw is the framing, the structural materials, on-site framework. That was 17% of our total build cost. Going into draw 3, which is week 9 to 12, it was 16% of our total build cost. That's structural work, custom materials, doors, windows, electrical, and plumbing. We're kind of working on draw 3 and 4 simultaneously right now in terms of what the work is going on in the office. The office is absolutely coming out unbelievable. We have a full media department. We have room for all of our support staff, for all the agents. We got 65 agents countrywide in our RE/MAX team right now. So we're by far the biggest real estate company in Belize, and that requires a lot of support for agents and brokers. So we have a great room where we have meeting rooms. We have room for you guys when you come down and you want to talk about property and work with our team on that. But yeah, so going into draw 4, it's 17% of the total build cost. That was for the roofing and siding work, interior walls, insulation, floors, more electrical and plumbing, and covering the patio and deck area. Draw 5 was 16% of the total build cost. That's continuing to work on the roofing, the siding, the interior walls, insulation, interior floors, electrical, plumbing. And finally, draw 6, which was 12% of the total build cost. That's the final scope, interior finishings, AC, appliances, all that stuff, basically to finish the project off. So this is an example, guys. This is for our office. It will vary depending on who's building, who's quoting, and what you're doing. In Mahogany Bay, you do have kind of a couple approved builders that have a great track record. Working outside and just having a photo probably isn't the best way to go about it. I would recommend, if you do want to build, go about it with a construction management team. Get the contacts who know what they're doing, and make sure you're doing this in a way where you've got everything laid out clearly with great builders. But if you have any questions about this, guys, shoot me an email. I'm happy to chat on it. And anything else, let me know. Aside from that, hope to see you guys down here soon. I'm going to go back and continue to work with our new Punta Gorda broker, and can't wait to see you guys down here.